best you can be, not because of any other reason, okay? Because I know you're better than this.
The room was tense, almost suffocating. Cody and Robyn sat across from each other, and for a moment, it felt like the air itself was holding its breath. Robyn's voice was calm, measured, but there was an edge underneath that made every word feel like it carried a warning. Cody's shoulders slumped slightly, like he was bracing for impact, and you could tell he had no idea how far this conversation was about to go. Robyn wasn't just upset about a small disagreement. She was carefully controlling how the situation unfolded, choosing every word to shape not just the moment, but the narrative of the family. And Cody, for all his attempts to stay balanced, looked exhausted, like he was constantly walking a tightrope he didn't fully understand. How far will someone go to control their marriage? That's the question hanging over this season. And with Robyn, it feels like every interaction is strategic. She presents herself as calm, almost shy, but behind that composed exterior is someone who knows exactly what she wants and how to get it. Cody, on the other hand, shows all the signs of someone caught between love, obligation, and the weight of expectations. He wants to do the right thing, but it's clear he doesn't fully realize the game that's being played. This is a family where every move is measured. Relationships are not just emotional, they're strategic. Alliances shift quietly, decisions are calculated, and the distance between them is growing with every passing conversation. Robyn's control over perception, her ability to guide the family narrative, is met with Cody's struggle to keep pace emotionally. You can see the tension ripple through the rest of the family, even in small moments. A glance here, a pause there. The unspoken understanding that something big is looming. And you can feel it before anyone says a word. Something is about to explode. One misstep, one sharp word, one moment of honesty, and the balance that has held this family together, fragile as it is, could shatter completely. Before we jump into the chaos that's about to unfold, let's catch up on how things got here. Over the past few episodes, we've watched Robyn and Cody tiptoe around each other like two people trying not to step on a landmine. Every conversation, every check-in, every how are we doing moment feels less like a discussion and more like a carefully calculated test. You start to realize that in this family, nothing is simple, and nothing is ever just about feelings. Cody has been struggling to find his footing. He wants to show he's present, that he's engaged, that he's doing his part as a husband and father. But Robyn has made it clear that she has her own rules for emotional safety. When she says Cody is emotionally unsafe, it's not just a casual complaint. It's a boundary, a line in the sand, and one that shifts depending on how she wants the moment to go. And Cody? He's constantly walking back and forth over that line, trying to prove himself, only to find that the goalpost has moved yet again. At the same time, the other wives notice the tension, even if they don't say it out loud. There are moments when the room feels like it's buzzing with unspoken questions. Is Robyn manipulating him? Is Cody being too passive? Or is this just the way this family works? You almost want to laugh at the absurdity of it, except it's anything but funny for Cody. He's the one caught in the middle, and the stakes are higher than anyone on the outside can see. What's interesting is that this isn't new behavior for Robyn. Anyone who's followed her history with Preston knows she has a method. She's strategic, careful with her words, and she knows how to control situations to protect herself while making it look like she's acting out of care or necessity. That pattern, subtle as it is, has resurfaced here. She knows exactly when to pull back, when to push, and when to let Cody feel like he's in charge, until she wants to change the game entirely. And yet, despite all the tension, there's a strange rhythm to these interactions. You can almost imagine Cody thinking, am I missing something? Did I really do that wrong? And honestly, if you've been watching, you know that feeling. You feel it with him. It's exhausting to watch, but you can't look away. So as we move into the next moments, you have to wonder, how will Cody respond this time? Will he finally see through the tension, or will he fall right into the trap Robyn has set? One thing is certain, he's about to face a moment that could shift everything between them, and you won't want to miss what happens next. The tension between Robyn and Cody has been building like a storm on the horizon, and this week, it finally starts to crack open. Every glance, every word, every pause carries weight. Robyn's calm, almost collected exterior hides a simmering strategy. She's measuring Cody's reactions, seeing how far she can push, how much control she can assert without seeming obvious. Cody, on the other hand, looks drained. You can see it in the slump of his shoulders, the way his eyes flicker with frustration, the small sighs that escape before he even realizes it. If you've been following this story, this part hits hard. There's a growing emotional distance that neither of them can ignore. Robyn isn't angry in a normal sense, she's selective. She engages when it benefits her narrative and withdraws when Cody acts in ways that she deems unsafe or counterproductive to her plans. It's like watching two people on different tracks of the same train, moving together but never actually connecting. And the rest of the wives? The tension is just as thick there, though it shows differently. Jealousy, loyalty, and betrayal weave through the household in subtle ways. You can see it when Christine hesitates before offering advice, or when Janelle's laughter doesn't quite reach her eyes. Even Mary, who tends to stay quiet, has that half smile that says she's processing everything, calculating her own space in this family puzzle. Each wife reacts differently to the Robyn-Cody dynamic, but the undercurrent is the same. The emotional fragility of this marriage affects everyone. Cody is slowly retreating, and you can't blame him. He's caught in a constant loop of trying to prove himself, only to meet walls he can't break through. Robyn's strategic pullback isn't just a tactic, it's shaping the emotional landscape, dictating the pace, and forcing Cody to respond to her terms rather than his own instincts. It's exhausting to watch, and it makes you wonder how much longer he can stay engaged without cracking under the pressure. And here's the thing, just when you think the tension has reached its peak, there's a private moment coming, a confrontation behind closed doors, unseen by the rest of the family, where words and emotions will collide in ways that could change everything. Whatever happens there isn't just another argument, it could redefine the balance of control between them. And the rest of the family will feel the ripple effect. Robyn has a way of guiding Cody without making it obvious. You watch her conversations and notice the subtle nudges, the almost casual suggestions that push him toward being more assertive, more controlling, more patriarchal. It's not a confrontation. It's a soft steering, the kind that feels like a suggestion but lands like a command. And the striking thing is, she knows he won't notice until later, until he's already stepping into the role she wants him to play. Cody's blind spots make it easy. He genuinely believes he's acting on his own, that he's taking charge for the family's benefit. He doesn't realize how much he's been guided, how much the decisions he thinks are his are actually Robyn's strategic moves in disguise. It's fascinating and frustrating to watch, because the more he leans into these behaviors, the more she can use them to her advantage later, both publicly and privately. And here's where it gets even more intense. Robyn has perfected plausible deniability. Every action, every word, can be framed as something natural, something defensive, something protective of the kids or the family. Yet behind the scenes, it's all calculated. She knows the timing, she knows the impact, and she knows exactly how Cody will respond. He wants to do the right thing, but in reality, he's operating on a script she wrote without telling him. The other wives see the shift too. Some notice the way Cody's confidence has changed, how he's more assertive, more rigid, almost bossy at times. And it's easy to imagine someone stepping back and thinking, is he becoming more controlling? But the reality is that Robyn has shaped this carefully. Every move he makes now strengthens the position she has created for herself, whether he realizes it or not. If you've been paying attention, you know the tension isn't just emotional. Robyn's manipulation has a clear endgame. She's protecting herself emotionally, and she's building a safety net legally. By nudging Cody into certain behaviors, by letting him take on roles that she can later frame as problematic if needed, she's creating leverage. And that's what makes this so intense. What appears to be ordinary conflict is actually a battle for control, played out on multiple levels. The twist is clear, even if no one is talking about it yet. Robyn isn't just managing Cody's behavior. She's managing the story, the narrative that will be told in court or in public, if it ever comes to that. Every argument, every pullback, every carefully measured reaction is part of a strategy designed to protect her, emotionally and legally. And you can feel it building toward a moment that could completely shift the family dynamic in ways no one sees coming. On the surface, Robyn looks completely different this season. She appears shy, reserved, almost demure in the way she moves through the family and the cameras. But anyone who has watched her from the beginning knows this isn't the same Robyn. The woman who once spoke her mind loudly, challenged opinions, and controlled the room has rebranded herself. And the timing of this shift? You can't help but wonder if it's entirely intentional. Would you see her coming if you were in Cody's place? Because the truth is, this softer persona masks a very strategic mind. Robyn knows how to manage perceptions. She presents herself in a way that makes her seem non-threatening, almost passive, while quietly shaping decisions, guiding reactions, and steering conversations. Cody is still manipulating situations too, but Robyn seems to be thinking multiple steps ahead. She's playing both sides of the emotional and public narrative, and you can sense the tension in how carefully she chooses her words. The contrast is striking. Cody appears reactive, often emotionally codependent, trying to maintain a balance that Robyn has already shifted. He reacts. She plans. He steps forward. She retreats strategically. She's building a story, both in the home and in public, that could protect her position, influence the family, and even affect legal outcomes if the time comes. And here's the thing. This rebranding doesn't just impact Cody. It affects the entire family. Other wives notice the change, the way Cody responds, and even the kids pick up on the subtle shifts. Every move she makes under this quiet, composed exterior sends ripples through the household. And beyond the walls of the home, this is being observed too. Cameras catch it, social media notices, and public opinion begins to form based on the version of Robyn that she's carefully presenting. The suspense lies in how all of this will play out. Will Cody realize what's happening before it's too late? Will the rest of the family see the manipulation before it impacts them? And when this carefully crafted public image collides with reality, both in the home and potentially in court, the consequences could be dramatic. Next, we'll explore the public reaction, the social media storm, and how the family's personal struggles become a spectacle for everyone watching. This is where perception meets reality, and the fallout is just beginning. Looking at Robyn's history with Preston, you start to see a pattern. Legal battles, custody disputes, and strategic maneuvering were never just about disagreements. They were carefully calculated moves to control outcomes. She knew when to push, when to pull back, and how to frame situations to make herself appear protective, reasonable, or even the victim when needed. Every decision, every letter, every court filing was part of a plan to shape reality in her favor. And now, with Cody, it feels like she's using the same blueprint. The strategies she honed years ago aren't forgotten, they've simply been adapted. The tactics may look different because the dynamics have changed, but the underlying playbook is the same: manipulate perceptions, guide behavior, and protect her position. Cody might not realize it, but every argument, every retreat, and every calculated moment of emotional withdrawal is part of a larger design. The children feel this tension too. You can see it in their hesitation, the quiet anxiety that ripples through the family when Robyn and Cody are in conflict. Decisions about schedules, rules, and responsibilities are never neutral. They're infused with strategy. And while the kids try to maintain a sense of normalcy, they can't escape the patterns they've seen before. The emotional weight of watching one parent control the narrative while the other struggles to keep up is heavy, and it leaves scars that are subtle but persistent. And here's where it gets shocking. Robyn repeats a tactic from the past that seems eerily familiar. She sets up a situation, nudges Cody into a behavior, and then positions herself to respond in a way that protects her emotionally and legally. If you've been watching, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's the kind of maneuver that makes you sit up and say, wait, she did that before. It's smart, it's calculated, and it's a little chilling because it shows how deliberate her strategy is. What's coming next feels inevitable. You can almost see Robyn planning her next move in silence, thinking several steps ahead. Cody's reactions, the family's response, and even public perception are all variables she's factoring in. And when she makes that move, it could shift everything: relationships, control, and maybe even the legal landscape in her favor. The tension is mounting, and the storm isn't just approaching, it's already in motion. Cody has started to retreat, both physically and emotionally. You see it in the way he spends more time in the garage, shutting the door behind him as if the walls could shield him from the tension inside the house. And it's not just about space, it's about distance, a growing emotional divide that no one can ignore. Every conversation with Robyn is measured, cautious, and exhausting. The frequent check-ins, the repeated "how are we doing" moments aren't signs of care. They feel forced, almost unnatural, like trying to patch a crack in a wall that keeps widening. If you've been following this story, you know this kind of interaction isn't healthy. In a strong marriage, you don't have to constantly ask if everything is okay. But here, every conversation is a negotiation, every word weighted. Cody tries to bridge the gap, but it's clear that no matter how hard he leans in, Robyn has already pulled back. She chooses when she engages and when she retreats, and he's left in that limbo, trying to read signals that aren't meant to be clear. The other wives notice too. Christine watches closely, weighing her own words carefully. Janelle senses the tension but tries not to intervene, knowing it's a delicate balance that could shift the family dynamic. Even Mary seems to recognize the strain, the way Cody's exhaustion shows on his face, how the conversations leave him drained. Their observations add another layer to the household. Everyone is aware, even silently, that something is off, that the marriage isn't just struggling, it's fractured. But the next moment caught everyone off guard. A simple exchange between Robyn and Cody, a glance and a few words, had an undercurrent of power and control. It wasn't explosive in a traditional sense, but the tension was so thick you could almost hear it crack. It was one of those moments that makes you realize this marriage isn't about connection anymore. It's about survival, negotiation, and subtle manipulation. Cody is trying to stay present, but Robyn is dictating the terms without raising her voice. And you can feel it building towards something bigger. The emotional distance, the constant check-ins, and the quiet power plays are leading to a confrontation that will shake the family to its core. The next scene won't be a gentle conversation. It will force decisions, reveal truths, and push Cody and Robyn into a space where nothing will feel safe or predictable. As the season unfolds, Fans aren't holding back. Social media is buzzing with reactions, hot takes, and memes that perfectly capture the chaos inside the Brown household. Every exchange between Robyn and Cody is dissected, every sigh and pause is analyzed, and every subtle glance becomes fodder for debate. You scroll through the comments and it feels like the whole country is watching the tension in real time, weighing in on who's right, who's wrong, and who's playing the long game. The public perception of Robyn is shifting in interesting ways. Some viewers praise her for setting boundaries and staying composed, calling her smart and strategic. Others see her as manipulative, calculating, and emotionally controlling, especially when Cody appears worn down or unsure of his footing. And Cody? He's caught in the middle of public scrutiny. Fans debate whether he's a victim, a codependent partner, or someone complicit in the very dynamics that make him look weak in these exchanges. The online chatter reflects the complexity of the situation. There's no simple answer, and that makes it addictive to follow. Would you act the same if you were in their shoes? Because when you watch the episodes closely, it's clear that every choice matters. Every decision is magnified under the lens of public scrutiny and family expectation. And this isn't just about who's right or wrong. It's about control, influence, and protecting one's position, both in the home and in the eyes of the audience. And wait till you hear what Robyn says next. In a recent scene, her words were calm, almost gentle, but the underlying message was powerful. She didn't raise her voice, she didn't demand or threaten, but you could feel the weight of strategy behind her tone. Every syllable seemed designed to keep Cody off balance, to maintain control, and to solidify her narrative. The fans immediately caught on, flooding social media with reactions that ranged from shock to admiration to outright outrage. The memes, the comment threads, the endless speculation, they all feed into this strange ecosystem where reality TV meets public judgment. And the way the wives and Cody respond, both on screen and in interviews, continues to fuel the fire. Shifting allegiances, private alliances, and subtle confrontations all play out not just for the family, but for the viewers who feel invested in every twist and turn. By now, you can sense that the drama is building towards something massive. The tension isn't just contained within the walls of the house anymore, it's spilling out online, where every word, every glance, and every reaction is dissected. And what's coming next promises to be the kind of explosive confrontation that will leave everyone, both inside the family and out on social media, speechless. The next episode isn't just a continuation, it's the moment where the stakes reach their highest point yet. Thought it's becoming impossible to ignore the cracks in Robyn and Cody's marriage. Every episode shows more distance, more careful calculation, and more signs that the foundation of their relationship is fragile. The constant check-ins, the carefully measured conversations, and the subtle power plays are not just signs of strain, they're hints that a major breakdown is inevitable. You can almost feel the tension building to a point where something has to give. And then the unthinkable happened. A quiet conversation between the two revealed how far apart they've drifted. Cody's exhaustion was obvious, the frustration barely contained, while Robyn remained composed, calm, but calculating. She measured her words, her gestures, her tone. Every move felt like a chess piece in a larger game, and Cody was responding in real time, unaware of just how much he had been maneuvered. It's a dynamic that has fans questioning how long this fade can hold. The potential fallout is massive. Legal battles could erupt if the marriage collapses completely, and custody issues would almost certainly follow. Robyn has demonstrated before how she can navigate courts and legal systems strategically, shaping outcomes to her favor, while Cody, despite his intentions, can appear reactive and vulnerable. The children are already caught in the middle, navigating schedules, expectations, and emotional undercurrents that they never asked for. The family's private struggles are already spilling into public observation, and a divorce would amplify every detail under intense scrutiny. And the tension doesn't stop there. Fans have begun speculating on social media, weighing the possibilities of Robyn's next move, while Cody's codependence and emotional fatigue make him a less effective counterbalance. Robyn's strategy is clear. She's positioning herself to maintain control, protect her narrative, and ensure that whatever happens, she comes out with both emotional and public leverage. Cody is left trying to catch up, trying to respond, but each move he makes seems anticipated, almost orchestrated by her foresight. And then the unthinkable happened again. In a quiet hallway moment, a glance, a word, a subtle hesitation hinted at decisions being made off camera that could change everything. The strain, the emotional exhaustion, and the undercurrent of strategy all converged into a single tense moment that foreshadows a confrontation none of the family can avoid. Next episode, one wife finally confronts the truth. The simmering tension, the calculated strategies, and the mounting emotional strain are about to collide in a way that will shake the Browns to their core. The question is, who will hold their ground? Who will falter? And who will emerge in control? By now, it's clear that this season has been all about tension, strategy, and emotional survival. Robyn has moved through the family with quiet precision, pulling back when she needs to, pushing when it benefits her, and carefully crafting a narrative that protects her at every turn. Cody's codependence and emotional exhaustion make him an easy target for these moves, and the cracks in their marriage are impossible to ignore. What looks like small disagreements or subtle retreats on screen is really a high-stakes game of control and preservation, and Robyn is playing it like a master. The fragility of their relationship is staggering. The constant check-ins, the emotional distance, the power shifts, all of it highlights a marriage that functions more as a stage for strategy than a partnership built on trust and intimacy. And when you consider her past with Preston, the pattern becomes even more clear. Robyn knows how to navigate legal and emotional landscapes to her advantage, and every small move now is calculated to protect her future, both privately and publicly. Do you think Robyn will succeed in her plan? Because everything she's doing points toward a carefully plotted exit strategy, one that could leave Cody scrambling to respond while she maintains control over both the narrative and her position within the family. And the kids, caught in the middle, are learning lessons about strategy, manipulation, and emotional boundaries that they never asked for. Watching this unfold, you can't help but wonder who is really in charge and who is being quietly guided through a scenario they barely understand. And the tension isn't letting up. Next week, everything hits the fan. The emotional cracks will become confrontations, the carefully controlled appearances will clash with raw reality, and the family dynamics we've been watching all season will reach a point where they can't be ignored. You'll see alliances tested, secrets revealed, and strategies exposed in ways that will leave viewers shocked and talking long after the episode ends. So here's my question to you. If you were in Cody's shoes, how would you respond? Would you see Robyn's moves coming? Or would you get swept up in the strategy without realizing it? And if you were Robyn, would you play the same careful game or take a different approach? I want to hear your thoughts in the comments below, because this is the moment where fans can weigh in, share theories, and debate what's coming next. The stakes have never been higher, the drama more intense, and the strategies more calculated. This season of Sister Wives has shown us the fragile balance between love, loyalty, and manipulation. And if you think you've seen it all, wait until the next episode. The emotional stakes are about to rise, the truths will surface, and nothing in this family will feel the same again. Stay tuned and make sure to let me know what you think, because this story is far from over.